Yeah, no, that's definitely not true. You have so much time to do other things. I mean, it is obviously Cambridge is intense. There's no point pretending it isn't, but your time isn't all work. I have quite a lot of contact hours. I think I have about 18 a week.
Okay.
But one of the plus sides of that is it means I have to do a bit less work outside. And I think a lot degrees tend to sort of balance that. So if you have fewer contact hours, you might have a lot more essays to write outside of it. But in the end, no one's going to be sitting down and working 10-hour days every single day. It's also quite, I think socializing here can be quite almost informal, which can be quite nice. Like we have the JCR, which is the common room, and just in the evening after dinner, we can just all go there for an hour or two. So even if people have got essays and they can't do a big night, it's nice to go and see everyone.
Hello everyone, welcome to Cambridge from the Inside. We're here with a new guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Auden. I'm first year, currently studying Chinese, and I'm from Southend in Essex.
Nice. And we're here to be talking about first-time experiences, how your first term has been like, how you found settling in Cambridge, the degree, and how have you found your first term?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. It's hard work.
Yeah.
I think the hard part, the hard work doesn't stop once you've got in. But it's a really nice community here, especially at Trinity Hall. I've got a good group of friends. And there's a lot of there's so many extracurricular opportunities you can have so it's not all just about work. I think one of the nice things about Trinity Hall in particular is we came a week and a half earlier than a lot of people than term started. So it gave us time to sort of do a lot of the settling in, induction week, getting to know the town, making friends. We got to do all of that before we had to actually worry about our studies. Because I think term in Cambridge obviously runs a week in Cambridge runs from a Thursday to a Wednesday. So term would have started on the Thursday, and I think a lot of people only got here on the Sunday or the Monday just before, whereas we got here the Sunday the week before that. So it gave us time to get used to everything, because it was a massive change, a massive culture shock coming here. So it gave time to sort of get used to everything without the added pressure of having to study.
Because I guess you get to like meet people from your college, get settled down before you start studying. So did you have like a week and a half to settle down before the studying started? Yeah,
so there was usually in a day the college would have sort of like workshops or lectures for us to go to, where we'd sort of learn about we'd have tours around the college, work out how to use the dining hall, and then more general things like staying safe in Cambridge, how to write good essays, that sort of stuff. And then also a lot of social events, which was nice. So the JCR would always put something on in the evening for us to do. It was a really nice way to meet people. I think that's one of the best advantages of the collegiate system. It means it's like you form especially at Trinity Hall, which is quite a small and close-knit community. You get to it's a lot easier to meet people. It doesn't feel quite as daunting as I thought it would be. Everyone's very friendly.
Nice. Did you tell me more about what you were thinking about Cambridge beforehand? Like what do you mean by daunting?
So I just like I came here for the year 12 open day, and I saw these giant chapels and quite imposing medieval buildings, and but it doesn't, and from the outside it can look like that, and obviously Cambridge is a very scholarly place, but from the inside it feels a lot more homely than I thought it would do. The college, you get used to it so quickly, and I think it feels like it just feels really it just feels like home. It's easy to make friends here, and your friends will only be on the staircase next to you or something. We all eat in the dining hall together. We've got our library on college. It makes it's just quite easy, I'd say, to navigate. and nowhere near as scary as it might look.
Nice. That's really cool. And then tell me more about what you're studying and what's that been like?
Yeah, so I'm studying Chinese, which is
Okay.
part of AIMS, Asian and Middle Eastern Studies.
Nice.
So in AIMS you pick one of 5 subjects, one of 5 languages: Chinese, Japanese, Hebrew, Arabic, or Persian.
Yeah.
So it's a completely separate department from MML, which is modern and medieval languages.
Yeah.
And it's really nice because the course, it's not just language. We have a lot of history classes. We do literature. Next year and in 4th year you get to choose even more specific papers. It's a very small department.
Yeah.
So in my language class, for example, there's only 8 of us, so
Yeah.
8 Chinese undergraduates in the whole year. But I'd say that's definitely an advantage. It means that the teaching's really personal.
Yeah.
It can be really tailored towards how it can help the student. So for example, we asked that our lessons were conducted more in Chinese, so we'd be picking it up faster. And because it's only 8 of us, if we all come to a teacher with a certain query, then it can be implemented. So our teacher now speaks to us in a lot more Chinese than at the start of the term, which is nice. And it also means that it's easier to make friends with the class. I mean, you become quite close.
There's only 8 of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you become quite tight knit, and especially because in the 3rd year we all have our year abroad.
Yeah.
So we'll all be living together. I think it works a bit differently for other languages. I'm pretty sure you have flexibility with the Middle Eastern languages, but for Chinese we have to go to Peking University, so in Beijing, and we'll all be together, studying together in our classes together. So we've got to spend 4 years together, so it makes it, you have to be friends with them whether you like it or not. But I think that's an advantage. It makes it really it's really friendly. Really nice.
It's nice that you have like a kind of family in college, but also like a kind of family in your department as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice that, I think sometimes it's quite nice that they're a bit separate, because like at college, you're seeing the exact thing, you're eating with the same people every day, you're studying with the same people, you're going out with the same people. Sometimes it's nice to have a familiar set of faces, a fresh set of faces. And also it's nice to be able to talk about different things, because course is like, it's nice to have people who are just as interested in the subject as you are to talk about, but that can get a bit tiresome sometimes. You just want to see your college friends and talk about whatever.
That's not even taking into account like university societies as well.
Yeah, exactly. So because I think it's really nice that there's college level societies and then university wide ones, because the college ones offer, I think, a more sort of relaxed, especially the sports ones. Like you just got college basketball, college football, netball, tennis. You can just do it in a much more relaxed way. But then also for those who are a lot more committed to a sport, there's the university wide ones. And I remember Freshers Week, there's just endless marquees of societies. There's some very niche ones. Basically, if there's something you're interested in, there will be some sort of society that covers it. And if there isn't, then the university will provide you with the funding to start one. So it's pretty amazing how many opportunities there are. I do rowing, so I row for the college.
Were you a novice or did you?
Yeah, I'm a novice. Yeah. But it's very big here, especially Trinity Hall. I think we've got I think our boat house is a lot bigger than some of the others, and we're a relatively small college, and we have it's really nice it's another way to make friends. Especially with rowing, because you've got a boat of 8 people and it's going to be the same 8, so you and it's so important that you keep in time, so you're going to have to like work well with these people, get on well with these people. And then societies, they have a lot of other events as well. So the boat club, for example, has swaps with other college boat clubs. Next week we have a Christmas dinner, which is nice. And I think societies are a really nice way to socialize with people from your college, but also with other people who have similar interests to you.
So I think like rowing, a lot of people will think of it as quite an inaccessible sport. But can you talk more about what like a novice means and what like opportunities there are in rowing for anyone who hasn't done any rowing before?
Yeah, no, I definitely thought the same. I mean, as far as I'm aware, there's nowhere to row near where I'm from. I'd never thought of it as something anyone could do.
Does,
And even though obviously Cambridge and Oxford are both very famous for their rowing, I didn't think that I was going to do that. I didn't think that was something for me. I thought that was something for people who are really good. And then in first week we got an email basically saying, do you want to sign up for these? There's these things called tubs, which are like little boats for just 2 people.
Yeah.
And they're just a little one, and you can just go up and down the river a little bit. So because Trinity Hall, they have their own boathouse. It's about a 25 minute walk away. And it's just right on the river. It's a really lovely walk up there.
Yeah.
And so they invited us up there in our induction week to go up and take one of these little 2 boats out, see how it felt. And then from then on you start working your way up, and then you get into an 8, which are the proper long rowing boats. It's really accessible. You don't have to. I think a lot of societies you have to pay some fees for. I've not had to pay anything for it.
Nice.
There is kit you can buy, and it's quite a nice way to, I think, foster some competition between the colleges. I have a race tomorrow morning.
Okay. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's just, it's not something that I would have ever considered doing.
Yeah.
And then I just think Cambridge, you have so many opportunities that you would have never thought about before. Make the most of them. I mean, if rowing isn't for you, it isn't for you, but at least try a tubbing session, see whether you like it or not. That's another good thing about the induction week. There's going to be so many opportunities for you to try different things. I'd say try as many of them as you can.
Yeah, the social scene as well for rowing always looked great. I think for me, the mornings were just...
Yeah, that's definitely the worst part, having to get up at 6:30. Okay. Especially this week, it was one degree out there one day.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the best part.
No, I guess it gives you learn a lot of good discipline, and you're up in the morning ready for the day. I mean, I wouldn't know, but but quite interesting that how has the studying been like with like doing the rowing and the other like societies like have, I mean, I guess a lot of people think that when they're in Cambridge they'll only be studying, but would you say that's not the case? Yeah, no, that's definitely not true. You have so much time to do other things. I mean, it is obviously, Cambridge is intense. There's no point pretending it isn't, but your time isn't all work. I have quite a lot of contact hours. I think I have about 18 a week. Okay. But one of the plus sides of that is it means I have to do a bit less work outside. And I think a lot degrees tend to sort of balance that. So if you have fewer contact hours, you might have a lot more essays to write outside of it. But in the end, no one's going to be sitting down and working 10-hour days every single day. It's also quite, I think socializing here can be quite almost informal, which can be quite nice. Like we have the JCR, which is the common room, and just in the evening after dinner we can just all go there for an hour or two. Even if people have got essays and they can't do a big night, it's nice to go and see everyone. Eating in the dining hall is another big one. I eat there pretty much every day for lunch and dinner. Good food, good price. And the food's really cheap. Yeah, it is. I think it's really heavily subsidized here. It's really good. And so it's like, I'm right, I think like it's 2 or 3 quid for a main. I'm vegetarian. Okay. That's only 180. Okay, nice. So and then with sides, I pay about £3 for like a full, completely cooked meal. And the food's really like really high quality food, proper good food. And I just go with my friends every day. I can just talk to them and just catch up with them. So what would like a typical day look like for someone who's like studying Asian Middle Eastern studies or studying Chinese? So I have rowing in the morning, maybe 2 or 3 days a week. Okay. So if I have to get up for that, I'll be up at 6:30, and then I'll cycle down to the boathouse. And then we aim to get back from the outing in time for 9 a.m.s. I have a 9 or a 10 a.m. every day. Okay. I think most subjects aren't quite that early.
But
unless besides the sciences.
Yeah, beside the sciences, where you might have Saturdays, unfortunately. But so I have lessons every day. I think some subjects get a day off, but and then it's usually about 3 or 4 hours a day of lessons. It tends to be a nice mix of language classes and history classes.
Okay.
I think about 2/3 of my lessons are language focus, or maybe 3/4. But then the history classes are spread throughout the week.
Yeah.
So everything's, one of the nice things is everything's in department, like on the faculty site. So our history lessons we don't have to go to the history department for that. It's all there. So a day, I'll usually spend a day there. And if I have hour breaks, I can just go to the library, so all faculties here have their own libraries. The Fames is on the Asian Middle Easterns building, is on Sidgwick, so there's a lot of lunch options there. But then also college is only a 10-minute walk away, so most of the time if I have a lunch break, I'll just come back for lunch.
Nice.
Then usually in the afternoon I'll have some work to do. I think a lot of the work here is you have to be well disciplined in doing work on your own, because a lot of it's not, especially with a language, a lot of it's not going to be assessed. You just have to be able to keep things up in your own time. And then I might have ergs, so like rowing machines in the evening. Usually go to dinner, and then I'll probably see my friends in the evening.
Nice.
So
just going back to the course, I was talking about the language modules and the history modules. Am I right in thinking, so if you choose to pick to do Chinese, does that mean that the history modules are going to be about China?
No, so it's really nice. But so we have this thing called EAS, which is East Asian Studies, and it's a paper we do in first year, and it's just East Asian history and culture and society, religion, all in general. So Japan, China and Korea in particular, but then also other parts of the world, how they're connected to it. So basically every week is on a different aspect of that. And it sort of works its way through time. So our first week starts with ancient China, and then we work our way through. We're about halfway now, so we're in early modern period. And then at the end of the year we reach modern day. And I think one of the advantages of EAS is that if there's a week you find a bit boring, the next week's going to be a lot more, well, you might find the next week more interesting. There's something for everyone. It's really diverse. So for example, this week we've been learning about early modern Japanese literature and like graphic novels.
Nice.
Whereas last week it was on the economic history of China, of pre-modern China. So it's really changing. You can focus, you can like there will be something you're interested in at some point. You can focus more on your interests.
Can you specialize more next time?
So this year there's no choices in terms of what you do. You have to do the whole history course, but then it's a nice sort of introduction into what things you're interested in. So next year it's really, you can specialize a lot more. And one of the nice things is all the Chinese papers, so Chinese literature, Chinese history, Chinese politics, they're all available to Japanese students and vice versa. So you're not constrained just to your language. There's also the opportunity to do Korean next year as a subsidiary, and there's also papers on Korean politics and Korean history.
So, is that something you think you would be doing?
Yeah, Korean language I'd be really interested in. And there's a really diverse set of papers: literature, history, modern culture. There's even, you can borrow papers from other departments. So I think one of the ones on offer next year is a linguistics paper on structures and meaning. So it's I think it's borrowed from the linguistics department, and it's a more general introduction to what linguistics is rather than a particular linguistic analysis of Chinese and Japanese.
Is that something you'll be choosing?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really interested in linguistics and like language theory, so I'd really love to do that.
Nice.
But I think there's definitely something for everyone, and you can specialize quite nicely.
I think that's really cool how you might choose a specific language, but you can still learn the history and literature of like the different nations in Asia. So I think for a lot of people, like so a lot of prospective students who watch the podcast probably have the A levels to do Chinese at Cambridge, but probably have just never even thought about it. I was just quite curious to know, how did the idea come to mind for you, and how come you chose to study Chinese?
Yeah, so I was never was for most of my life, it wasn't something I ever really considered. I was pretty set on doing zoology actually, which here would have meant natural sciences and then specialize in zoology later. And then I think in sort of, I did my GCSEs and I'd submitted what A-level choice I want to do. And it was obviously mostly sciences to be able to do natural sciences here. And I don't think I realized that, so I did German for GCSE, and I think looking back on it, I realized I didn't actually enjoy maybe studying the sciences as much as I thought I did. And I wasn't sure that's what I wanted to properly commit to. So I started looking into the possibility of doing languages. So I did German for A-level. And then in year 12, I was looking...
What were your other A-levels?
Oh, sorry, I did geography, maths and further maths as well.
Okay, nice.
So I think one of the nice things about Chinese is you don't have there's not like a specific set of A-levels you need. So
do you not need a language A-level?
No, you don't need language A-level. I think obviously it will help a lot. But there are people in my class, I believe, who didn't do a language at A-level.
Okay. That's really cool.
It definitely helps, obviously, because it gives you the skills of picking up languages quickly. I'd say maths helps quite a lot. I think there's quite a lot of similarities between language learning and learning maths. And then geography was just purely out of interest. But again, geography, we do economics and international relations in there, and that it all ties in, I think.
So what similarities would you say there is between like learning maths and Chinese?
Well, I think you have to be quite structured. Language learning is there is right or wrong in languages a lot. Definitely at the more basic level, you have to get your grammar right. There's a lot of memorizing rules, memorizing vocab. You have to be quite disciplined. And I think there's sort of like the sort of like how like there's the logic of a language and its grammar, and there's the logic of maths and equations. And I think there's quite a close connection there.
Because people describe maths as a language as well.
Yeah, so, exactly. So in that sense, and I think there's some interesting studies on people who are good at maths. They can pick up languages a lot faster. So I think there's a really close relationship between the two.
Nice. So next thing that we've got here is I guess like people have like various expectations of what Cambridge will be like. Was wondering like what expectations did you have beforehand, and now that you've gone through a term, has Cambridge been what you expected or anything different to what you expected, etc.?
I was quite worried that it would be a bit too academic focused, that there wouldn't be time for that much else. But that's definitely not true. I find the time to go out 2 or 3 times a week. Nice. There's always stuff on, like the town's got so much going on. You'll have time to go to sports matches if you like, go to the theatre. I think it's not all academic. It definitely, obviously academics is a huge part, and it is hard work, but I have been quite pleasantly surprised with how much free time I have to do other things.
Nice. And just because I think for a lot of people who aren't too familiar with like what the collegial life and what a college is, and kind of like how you have your own college, but you might have like friends from like a different college, and you can kind of like end up or going to events at different colleges. Like what does the social life look like in a collegial university?
So I think the majority of people, their main friend group will be based in college, because those are going to be the first people you met, and it's also going to be the easiest. They're going to be living right next to you. They're going to be eating with you, and I think that's one of the really nice things about a college is it's a smaller community, so it's easier to make friends, but it's also big enough. I mean, here I think there's about 110 undergraduate first years, so it's big enough that you can meet people that you actually get on really well with.
Yeah.
But then that's also not to say that you won't have friends from other colleges. You'll make friends through your course, through societies, through friends of friends. Like I don't know. It will come. If you're worried about, I don't know, maybe because some people, maybe when they get pulled to a college, they're not happy with it or something. I don't know, but there's always opportunities to make friends from other places. I don't really think college necessarily limits you.
I guess most people like the college that they end up going to as well.
No, definitely, yeah. I think I really like the collegiate system, and I think there's definitely positives of all colleges, and I mean Trinity Hall is the best, of course.
Yeah.
But I think everyone. Honestly, I don't think I've met anyone who's actually unhappy with where they've ended up. Different pros and for different places.
Yeah.
So.
I think after 3 years, looking back, it will always be hard to imagine going to a different college and going and knowing different people. Like you're very likely to have not wanted it to happen in a different way. Was just quite curious, when you were applying, like did many people from your school apply to Oxford, Cambridge?
I think we had quite a few. I think we had maybe about 40
apply.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they all get in?
No, I think we had about 10 get in to either, and then about half of us came here and half went to Oxford.
Yeah.
But as I say, it was a state school. And I think 40 is quite a high number of people applying. There are, I think that there will always be, I think Cambridge offers so many opportunities. It's not an exclusive place. It is, I think it should be seen more as an opportunity.
Yeah. So was it a school that like regularly sent people to Cambridge, or?
I think there tends to be 1 or 2 each year. I think my year had a bit more than was expected. But it wasn't like something that I suppose was expected of people, because I know I meet some people from schools who basically their schools almost prepared them for Oxford and Cambridge, and it didn't really feel like that at my secondary. But I also don't think that's really excluded me from Cambridge at all. There's no sort of, people here are really friendly. I don't personally really see particular like barriers for people who maybe didn't come from a private school or a school that has a particular tradition of sending people to Oxbridge. And
so because we were talking about different schools, but beforehand, just from your experiences, have like most of the students come from either a private school or a school that's where the culture was quite used to sending its students to Cambridge?
No, definitely not. I mean, no, I think the majority of my friends went to a state school.
Because the majority of the students went to
the
state
majority
schools.
of students here do go to state schools. And there's quite, I mean, I think there's a higher amount of private school students than in the general populace. But I don't think that should be, I don't think anyone should ever think, oh, I don't go to private school, I shouldn't apply, because that's really not the most important thing. I don't think that I know for a fact that your application will never be looked down upon because you didn't go to a private school. And the number of state school students has been improving massively over past few years. So I really don't think that it needs to be seen as something, as like a barrier to anyone.
So like, say, because I think it's a really key point that a lot of people, especially like applicants, resonate with. Like, say there's like an applicant who goes to a state school, they've got good grades, they really want to go to uni, they have a course that they really want to do. Someone suggests Cambridge to them, or maybe they like see this podcast and they think, oh, Cambridge would be great, but it's not for like people like me. I didn't go to like a private school. Like what would you like say to that person?
I'd say that they've got it wrong. It's not true. There's people from, it's so diverse. So you've got people from like all walks of life.
Yeah.
There's no, I don't think that actually one thing about Cambridge is it's a lot cheaper here, like accommodation and food wise, than maybe at other universities. It's quite heavily subsidized.
Yeah.
I don't think that I think that the sort of the stigma or like the idea that people from state schools can't go to Cambridge or Oxford is more something that's been self-decided than something that actually has nowadays a particularly rational basis. I think you just sort of need you need to work out, is Cambridge right for you? Because it's not right for everyone, but if it is, so I definitely recommend people to go to open days. I went to the open day and it was really helpful for me. And if you think it's a right fit, you think it's a good fit for you, you're interested in your subject, you get good grades, then just apply it. Like your background does not matter at all. It's not going to be considered like it's not going to be like seen as negative because you went to a state school at all.
No, of course.
I think if you think Cambridge is for you, then apply. That's all there is to it.
Nice. Yeah. So like the idea of that is everyone went to a private school is a myth.
Yeah, completely. The vast majority of people did not go to private school.
Yeah. And anyone who's watching can you can type on like Google Cambridge admission statistics, and for the past probably like 15 years of admission stats is on there, and the most recent year for several years 70% of the UK students went to state schools. So every 10 people you see, 7 of them would have went to a state school.
Yeah,
so at least 7. Which I think when I've said that to people, a lot of people are surprised, but those are quite literally the stats and the facts. So last question that we've got here is like now with Christmas coming up and then next term and the rest of the year, is there anything that you think you do differently compared to this term?
I think you have to be very organized. When I first, in my first week, I wasn't maybe as organized as I should be. I wasn't always sure on my deadlines.
Yeah.
I think coming into it next time, it would be nice to know that I'm ready for everything. I know when my classes are going to be. I know when all my due dates are. Organization's a really important part. Definitely keep a calendar, get some sort of app that can track it for you, because it can get really confusing, especially when in a department like AIMS you have lots of separate classes and papers. It can get quite confusing. So I think that's definitely one thing to make sure I do better next term. I think one of the nice things about a long break is it means you have time to consolidate all your work from the term before, but also is you're not going to be frantically studying the whole time. So especially with a language, because languages are so, you can't like cram it all in the night before of a test. You have to do it. You have to do spaced repetition with language. You have to learn it gradually through time. So I think it's nice that I'll have that time to sort of consolidate everything, maybe even start preparing for my work next term, but also I've got time to see my family and see my friends.
Enjoy Christmas.
Yeah.
Just one thing that's out of curiosity I wanted to ask, was because I remember you said that you did German A level. Was there any particular reason you didn't choose to do German and you chose Chinese instead?
Yeah. So I was originally thinking, when I got with the idea of doing natural sciences and I wanted to do a language, my first thought was German, because I'd been studying it and loved it.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the open day, the year 12 open day here, and the languages section in particular, and I saw about AIMS and how Chinese was an option, and I'd always been really interested in China in general, Chinese culture. I read the book behind you, Wild Swans, which is a read I'd definitely recommend. I'd read lots about it, I'd watched films, but I just hadn't actually thought that Chinese was something I could do. I'd never done it before. I'd never studied it properly. And then I came to the AIMS open day. I had a Chinese class on. I had like a sample class on Chinese music. I loved it, and then when I realized that I could properly do this from scratch, that like you really can do this if you want to, if you're just interested in it, then I decided that I think I would be more interested in Chinese than I would be German.
I guess do you get more contact hours in the AIMS languages compared to the MML?
Yeah, a lot more. MML, I think especially with language classes, it's more like 3, 4, 5 a week, whereas for us we get close to 15 language hours a week. So it's fast paced. It's really fast paced, but I think it's just it's definitely an advantage. It means you learn the language quicker. If you're interested in learning the language, if you're sure it's something you want to do, then you shouldn't see this as a disadvantage. You're gonna be learning it. You're gonna be enjoying the process most of the time until the grammar gets too annoying. But yeah, I've been loving it. I love the AIMS department. Yeah.
Nice, that's really cool. And would I be right in thinking that if someone wants to focus more of their time in language learning and less on the essay writing and history and literature, is it skewed more towards language learning in doing one of the AIMS languages compared to MML?
Yeah, definitely. So MML is my friends who are doing MML, especially if you do MML for a language that you've already studied before.
Done an A-level in?
Yeah, done an A-level in, sorry.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be spending the majority of the time writing essays in English, just about the country or culture you're studying. You're not going to be studying as much of the language. So if you're interested in languages in general, maybe not a specific one, I would really recommend the AIMS department. It's language based, but then also in years when, like next year, 4th year, you can specialize a lot more. So if you are more interested in the history stuff, take all the history papers. If you're more interested in languages, take Korean, for example. It offers a lot of flexibility, which I really enjoy.
Nice. Oh well, thank you, Auden, for such a really interesting podcast. Sounds like you've had a very busy first term. Good luck with your rowing tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Is it a race?
Yeah, race. Claire sprints. I've got to be down at the boathouse at 7:30.
Okay. And how long would it take up the whole day or the morning?
Depends when we're knocked out. But it should be most of the morning.
It'll be a long day for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Nice. And thanks for watching. We're hoping to do more podcasts, talking to students about what their time's been like at Cambridge. Let us know in the comments if there's any podcasts that you'd like us to do. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
No worries.
How was that? Yeah, not bad. I think I started on a few questions, but yeah, no, it was good.